In chapter 10, verse number 20, Lord Krishna differentiates clearly between the body and the Atman. In that verse, Bhagavan says, I am the self in all living beings. The body is perishable, while the Atman or self is imperishable. The body changes constantly, but the self remains stable, eternal, and unchanging. Just as we cannot perceive the speed of an aeroplane in the vast, objectless sky, we similarly cannot experience change without a constant point of reference. In this case, the Atman serves as that stable, immutable essence which enables us to perceive the transformations occurring within our body, mind, and intellect. Understanding the distinction between the body and self frees us from the fear of mortality. Although the body is subject to birth, growth, decay, and death, the self is beyond these changes. It is the unchanging, eternal essence within us. Just as the breaking of a bulb does not end electricity, the body's death does not end the soul's existence. This analogy is powerful. The soul is like electricity and the body is merely the bulb. The soul is like fuel and the body like a vehicle that temporarily contains it. Therefore, the end of the body is not the end of the self. This is why death is often referred to as dehant or the end of the body. Krishna's use of plural for bodies and singular for the soul underscores this point through language itself, emphasizing that the soul is one and constant while the bodies are many and temporary. Since childhood, our body, mind, and intellect have transformed in countless ways, yet something within us remains unchanged. This unchanging essence is the self or God or the divine presence within. The realization of this truth gives a deep sense of peace and detachment. Understanding that we are not merely our bodies, but eternal self shifts our perspective on life and death. This knowledge helps one view mortality not as the end of existence, but as the end of one form of physical existence. When we recognize that our true nature is a stable, eternal soul, we gain liberation from the limitations and fears tied to our physical form. In essence, Krishna's message is to see the body as a vessel, a temporary medium for the self to express itself in the material world. The self, however, is timeless, unaffected by physical changes, and continues to exist beyond the body. This understanding, found in the wisdom of the Gita, can bring a sense of liberation from the attachments and fears that bind us to our transient physical form.